I'm going to start this video by being abundantly clear. I am not here to openly hate this game like everyone else is on the internet right now. Honestly, I just want to play and talk about the game with you guys and really dive into it. I love Plants vs Zombies and I have since I was 7 years old, playing the web version on just some random website I found. I loved it, and I got the game on Xbox 360 a few years later. But now, as of the 23rd of October 2025, the long-awaited day is here and the classic Plants vs Zombies is finally on modern platforms. Now, grab a snack and enjoy the complete definitive Plants vs Zombies Replanted Retrospective. Wow, that's a fucking mouthful. May 5th, 2009 changed the internet with the breakout release of Plants vs Zombies. This simple tower defense game of plants killing zombies became the center of gaming and pop culture for some time. The game is set around the rivalry between a man named Crazy Dave and the evil Dr. Zomboss. Crazy Dave is both mentally challenged and a highly intelligent inventor. His invention of the pea shooter made his arch nemesis, Dr. Zomboss, jealous. Zomboss is also highly intelligent, but focuses his efforts on inventing powerful machines and deploys armies of zombies toward Dave's house with no concern for his own creations or anything that causes even a minor convenience to him. A little fun fact for you, Crazy Dave is also based on a real-life game designer who worked for PopCap at that time. The entire game's events are the battles between Crazy Dave and Dr. Zomboss, leading towards a major boss fight at the end. Since its release, it's been featured on 21 different platforms across 16 years, across Xbox, PC, PlayStation, Nintendo DS, and a few different mobile ports, but it weirdly got ported onto an Android TV, a BlackBerry phone, and fucking J2ME. Everyone forgot what J2ME was until now, I guarantee you. PopCap won several awards for its gameplay and musical score, and ultimately became a generation-defining video game with spin-offs that carried its legacy even further. But those spin-offs and sequels were not the same genre or feeling as the original game, which has split fans' opinions. But now, Plants vs Zombies Replanted has arrived on modern consoles. I'm posting this video on the 26th of October, only 3 days after official release, so it could be likely there are patches and updates that I don't mention in this video. As I mentioned, the entire game was leaked early, and the internet did not hesitate to relentlessly throw hate towards PopCap for its glitches, its bugs, accused AI upscaling, and graphical issues. However, I decided to wait until the official release, and I found out that if you leak the entire game early, you probably shouldn't judge on an unfinished game as if it's the final product. And besides, if I'm going to be playing a game like Plants vs Zombies, one of the last things I'm going to be searching for are glitches and bugs. It's just a fun little game, just enjoy it. Now, the replanted version has a very similar direction as the original game, with some minor changes and quality of life upgrades. There's a nice widescreen view, there's full HD visuals, there's a speed bar to make the waves go faster, there's a large total of 20 minigames, local co-op features, PvP modes, and just a bunch more features which I will get into later. The only downside which I have found for this personally for me is the non-dynamic music. The way the music would blend into the original levels and slowly pick up, but in this version it's absent. But we move on, and now it's time to talk about Adventure Mode. The Adventure Mode is the classic Plants vs Zombies experience. It's why this game reached the hearts of so many fans. In total, there's 5 stages with 10 levels to each stage, and each stage is set at a new time with new events changing the course of the gameplay. Along the way, you unlock new and more interesting plants to grow and find crazy combinations. The day. Loading into the first day of the zombies' attack, Crazy Dave teaches you the process of growing plants and defending the garden, and strategically planning your defenses. In case of emergency, lawn mowers are set up that once a zombie touches it, the entire row will be mowed down. However, they are one-time uses for each row in every level. Sunflowers can produce sunlight, and with enough sunlight, you can grow specific plants. Sun also drops from the sky during daytime to increase the process speed. As the zombies ramp up their attacks, new plants are unlocked after every level, whilst the zombies also have new additions to their army. Throughout the entire daytime stage, you unlock new unique plants like the pea shooter and sunflower, but also the cherry bomb to explode zombies, walnuts to protect the lanes, potato mines ready to explode when a zombie touches it. The snow pea damages like a normal pea shooter, but slows them down too. The chomper literally eats the zombies, and repeaters are a double powered pea shooter and a puff shroom to prepare for the nighttime. At level 1-5, you see the first minigame introduced, being walnut bowling. You bowl walnuts to hit zombies and deflect them off of each other. The walnut seeds come to you on a conveyor belt at the top of the screen. At level 1-9, the zombies left an ominous note that they are preparing an all-out attack, which comes in 110, which is the second conveyor belt level, which instead of choosing your plants, it gives you randomized plant seeds to defend in order to stop the zombies' final daytime attack. Nighttime. Night has come and new preparations must be made. Due to being dark out, sunlight is a scarcity and cannot naturally drop, only through sunflowers, meaning new plants made specifically for nighttime are required within this stage. The slow sun production makes things difficult to grow regular plants, so throughout this stage you unlock plants like the sun shroom to help production grow, which can grow larger and eventually produce the same amount of sun as a sunflower. The Throom Shroom can pierce through multiple zombies and armor at once. Graves can appear out of the ground and randomly spawn zombies, so the Grave Buster can be used to destroy those graves. At level 2-5, the minigame Whack a Zombie lets you smack zombies coming out of graves with a hammer and stop an invasion, which also unlocks the Hypno Shroom. When a zombie eats this mushroom, it actually changes team and helps you fight other zombies. The Scaredy Shroom is a long-range affordable mushroom, but it cowers when zombies come close. When there are too many zombies overwhelming your garden, you can unlock the Ice Shroom and the Doom Shroom, which explodes zombies with an explosion of ice or a bomb explosion, but the bomb leaves a permanent mark in the ground, so you cannot grow any seeds in that part of the ground. At the end of 2-9, the zombies leave another note, saying that they are coming for a midnight snack of ice cream and brains. The stage is finished off in 2-10 with a final minigame conveyor belt level, which ramps up difficulty and the amount of graves, earning a lily pad to prepare for the next attack at sunrise. The Pool. The morning sun rises once again, and Crazy Dave has made additions to his garden. He's added a new spanking pool. However, the zombies prepare for this by using dolphins and some with snorkel gear, while some just dive right into the water. But plants can't grow in water, so in this stage you use the previously unlocked lily pad to place plants onto it to defend the pool area. Sun begins to fall from the sky again, so production can be more efficient. However, all of the mushrooms unlocked during the night stage now fall fast asleep in the day, making them essentially useless. The first plant unlocked is the Squash. For a fairly low price, the Squash can, well, squash any zombie it sees, either in front or behind it. The Three-Peater is a triple-headed pea shooter that attacks in 3 different lanes simultaneously. When not many defenses are underwater, a Tangle Kelp is a trap that sucks enemies underwater and keeps them there forever. The Jalapeno is a great explosive pepper that destroys all zombies in its lane. It's unlocked in 3-5, which is another conveyor belt level, using only lily pads, walnuts, cherry bombs, and pea shooters. Strange new zombies begin to approach now. A Zomboni and bobsled team. The Zomboni lays a track of ice, and the longer it takes to get destroyed, the ice trail extends, which opens a path for the bobsled team to slide to the end. To combat this, you can unlock the Spikeweed, a set of spike traps that damage regular zombies but also burst the wheels of the Zomboni. Pea shooters may start becoming weak against so many zombie variations and zombies with such large amounts of armor, so a torchwood can be used to turn every pea that's shot through it on fire, doubling the damage output. Also, an upgraded walnut can stop the pole vaulting zombies from jumping over the defenses. This is called the Tall Nut. At 3-5, the zombies leave another note, inviting themselves over for a pool party to finish off the assault. And in 3-10, the conveyor belt level is filled to the brim with Tall Nuts, Torchwoods and Three-Peaters, and also some defensive plants. Fending off the zombies unlocks a sea shroom to prepare for the second night. Fog. As night comes once again, an eerie fog follows, giving the zombies the perfect chance to attack. The thick fog grows over the garden, blocking our view, essentially combining the pool and night's level with an extra twist. So this night's defenses are increasingly more difficult to prepare. Through each level of this stage, as night ticks away, the fog creeps closer and closer to the house, restricting more area. A new Jack-in-the-Box zombie joins the pack and explodes itself, as well as any plants around it. Over the next few levels, you'll unlock a plantain, which clears a short amount of fog in a certain area, and a cactus, since the level after introduces balloon zombies, which can fly above all of the others, so a cactus is needed to pop the balloon and bring it down to the ground. You soon unlock the blower, which can temporarily clear the air of all the fog to allow a full view. It can be very hard to strategize certain placements and defend against zombies that you can't see until the last moment. Level 4-5 is a 3-wave vase breaker level, with a wide range of powerful zombies. Breaking vases can reveal either a plant or a zombie. Breaking too many too fast can unleash too many zombies to prepare for, and it must be taken slowly. Doing this earns the Split Pea, which is a 2-faced pea shooter with one face looking forward and the other looking behind. The Split Pea is needed since the next few levels introduce a digger zombie that mines underground and attacks plants from behind, but during the rest of the stage, you unlock plants like the Starfruit that can shoot in 5 different directions. the pumpkin, which plants can be placed inside to protect it with a coat of armor, and a magnet shroom, which takes away all of the metal armor and the items the zombies hold. Much like the pole vaulter zombie, a pogo stick zombie joins, and can only be stopped using a tool nut. The combinations of zombies that have been introduced so far force you to properly strategize and plan with plans that you take into battle. A note is found after the battle in 4.9, with the zombies attempting to act like your mom to invite you over to her house for meatloaf, and asks you to keep your house unlocked. Of course we ignore this and the zombies come to attack anyway. However, in this conveyor belt level in 4.10, it's during the peak of night, during a thunderstorm. It is pitch black and the only way to see is for a brief moment when lightning strikes. But the lightning soon disappears and darkness comes again. The conveyor belt holds 8 various plants but a huge range of zombies that takes advantage of the darkness. But once you survive the night, a new seed is unlocked called the cabbage launcher. Roof. The third and final morning sun rises and the zombies' attack into the house changes course. Now they try to enter through the roof. The roof is drastically different from anything seen so far. The roof is slanted so regular plants can't hit zombies. To combat this, you'll unlock lobbing plants like the cabbage launcher, which lobs a projectile across the air. Also, all plants are grown in plant pots that are pre-placed on the roof, but you soon unlock them to place wherever you may please. Throughout this stage, Bungie zombies appear randomly from the sky and steal your plant pots. The kernel port is the older brother of the cabbage launcher. It lobs corn at the zombies and sometimes butter. When butter hits a zombie, it's stunned in place for 5 seconds, which is helpful in the next level when ladder zombies join the attack. Ladder zombies can allow every single zombie behind it to climb the ladder, even past the tool nuts, but then you unlock the coffee bean, which can let any night mushroom wake up and fight during the day. In the level 5.5, it's a minigame called Bungie Blitz. You only have chompers, pumpkins and cherry bombs, but every single zombie is deployed from the Bungie zombies in the sky. Passing this unlocks the garlic plant. When zombies eat the garlic, they are disgusted by it and change lanes to avoid it. Since Bungie zombies are so present, the only way to combat this is by using an umbrella leaf, which protects all plants in a 3x3 area by the Bungie zombies. Catapult zombies are the largest encountered so far. They take up 2 lanes and fire basketballs at the plants while also running them over. The marigold plant acts like the sunflower, except produces coins rather than sunlight. The 3 brothers are reunited. The cabbage launcher and the kernel port have their final brother return to them, the melon bolt. It can launch high damage melons at large enemies and has AoE damage when the melon breaks, damaging all zombies around it, which is needed for the newer, even bigger zombie, the Gargantua. It can easily destroy plants and tank crazy amounts of damage. It's one of the strongest non-boss enemies in the entire Plants vs Zombies series. Once 5.9 is passed, the zombies leave a final note. Dr. Zomboss personally writes a letter saying the zombies will be forced to take extreme action if we do not comply. The final level of adventure mode is at the peak of night. On the roof, Dr. Zomboss launches an all-out attack on the house. This is another conveyor belt level using the 3 launcher brothers, jalapenos and ice shrooms. But Dr. Zomboss has every single zombie in the game, minus a few situational zombies that don't work on the roof, for example like the bobsled or aquatic zombies. But most notably, Dr. Zomboss uses his Zombot mech. Any plants at the front of the roof will instantly be crushed by the Zombot. The only chance of defeating him is by freezing the roof with ice shrooms when he leans his head forward and unleashes many attacks as possible during that time. But it can be tricky when the conveyor is randomized and you may not get the jalapenos to unleash harsh damage. At Dr. Zomboss's ultimate defeat, he escapes leaving a note. He forfeits and accepts his defeat, but now all he wants is to just make a music video with you, and the credits roll. Upon completing adventure mode, you unlock a large amount of side content, minigames and bonus levels. But you also unlock adventure mode 2. In this second playthrough, the difficulty is ramped far higher and you can use any selection of plants you choose, but Crazy Dave always pre-selects 3 plants you're forced to use. The levels also change a little too, most notably on 4.10 with the Yeti boss fight. Once you complete adventure mode, quite a lot is unlocked at the store, which is Crazy Dave's car, where you can buy special features for a few games and buy upgrades for certain plants and new plants too. It can begin to get pretty pricey though. PvZ has a lot of replayability through its minigames and bonus modes. There's a total of 20 minigames separate from the adventure mode. I'm going to be rapid here, so put on your big boy boots for all the minigames. Zombotany. The heads of all the zombies are replaced with plants. Whatever plant happens to be there, the zombie will act like both the plant and the normal zombie. Walnut Bowling. Plays like level 1-5 in adventure mode. Bowl walnuts and explode a nut at the approaching zombies to kill them. Slot machine. You have to spend 25 sun to trigger the slot machine in order to get plants, more sun or diamonds, while at the same time you've got to defend your house from zombies. It's raining seeds. This takes place in the fog. Seed packets fall from the sky and they will disappear if you don't plant your plants shortly after they fall. Bejeweled. It's similar to PopCap's first game, Bejeweled, where in place of jewels will be plants which will attack the approaching zombies. Zombies can eat plants, making it harder for you to make matches. Sun is obtained from successful matches and can be used to fill empty craters, purchase upgrades, shuffle the lawn. The level ends after 75 matches. Invisible. A fog conveyor belt level with no fog. The twist is that all the approaching zombies will be invisible, but the plants will still fire at them. You can use ice rooms or kernel pools to see their places on the lawn, and zombonis will leave a trail of ice that make a sound before entering. Seeing stars. Plant starfruit on several outlined spots in the shape of a star while also defending them. You will only win when each outlined spot has a starfruit on it. Zombiquarium. You have to feed the brains to snorkel zombies to accumulate 1000 sun to purchase a trophy. If they're not fed, then they're starved and they will die. Every few seconds, they will produce sun. Brains cost 5 sun and snorkel zombies cost 100. Save up to win. The Gold Twist. Very similar to the previous minigame, except matches are made through rotating plants in a clockwise direction. Big Trouble Little Zombie. All zombies are smaller, move faster, eat faster, and come in much greater numbers, but they are easier to kill. Portal Combat. A nighttime minigame, and the twist is that there's 4 portals around the lawn. When a zombie or projectile from a plant enters one of these, it exits through the other portal, and portals will randomly relocate. Column like you see them. A roof minigame, and its twist is that whatever the player plants, it plants an entire column that the zombies will come in much greater numbers. Bobsled Bonanza. A pool level which starts with ice on all 4 ground lanes, and several zombie bobsled teams and zombonis will appear throughout the level unless you melt the ice. And if you do melt the ice, then you'll face several zombonis first. It's really difficult. Zombie Nimble Zombie Quick. A normal daytime pool level, except the rate at which the plants fire and the speed that zombies move is doubled. Whack-a-Zombie. Zombies will appear from graves and you've got to whack them with a mallet. They sometimes drop sun when whacked that you can use to plant grave busters, potato mines or ice rooms. Last Stand. In this pool level you can't select free plants. Instead you start with 5000 sun and you've got to strategize before starting. You need to survive for 5 flags and with every wave passed you get 250 more. Zombotany 2. Plays just like Zombotany, but this one takes place in a pool area and introduces jalapeno zombies, squash zombies, Gatling pea zombies and turnip zombies. Walnut Bowling 2, sequel to Walnut Bowling, but with screen door zombies, dancing zombies, backup dancers and giant walnuts. Pogo Party. You're gonna face a lot of pogo zombies on this roof level, as well as regular zombies during huge waves. Dr. Zomboss's Revenge. Plays much like 510 in adventure mode, except this time Dr. Zomboss will have twice as much health and will send his minions far more often. And that is every minigame in Plants vs Zombies Replanted. However, there's an abundance more side content and extra game modes, so let's get into that. Vase Breaker. In this series of vase breaker puzzles, you have to use a mallet to break open vases on the lawn. The vases contain plants, zombies or sun. In order to complete the level, all vases must be broken and all zombies must be defeated. iZombie. iZombie is a series of puzzles where you've got to deploy zombie units to overcome cardboard cutouts of plants and to get to the end of each row, where there is a brain. The level is completed when all brains have been eaten. At the beginning of the first level, Crazy Dave actually says that the zombies wanted to practice invading houses, and of course he didn't want any of his plants harmed, so he put cardboard cutout ones to help. The Zen Garden. The Zen Garden is a safe place to grow plants either found by chance or bought from Crazy Dave. This game mode does go extremely in depth and I will try to simplify it for you. If you take care of a plant by occasionally playing music and watering it, it will eventually fully grow and drop coins frequently. It can be used for efficient automatic farming methods, and a very wide range of plants can be grown with up to 32 at a time. Items like the golden watering can be used to water multiple plants at a time, and there's a lot of other items that can be used to increase efficiency and keep the plants happy and satisfied. There are 3 gardens: the classic Zen Garden, the Aquarium Garden, and the Mushroom Garden, all of which can grow different types of plants and will eventually drop coins automatically. It is a grindy secondary mode, but if you focus on it, it's the fastest way to earn coins to buy more crazy items from Crazy Dave's Crazy Item Shop. The Tree of Wisdom. When fed tree food, the Tree of Wisdom gives you tips and tricks. You can grow it to a seemingly endless length, but there are no rewards for growing the Tree of Wisdom past 1,000 feet. You can buy the Tree of Wisdom from Crazy Dave's shop for $10,000 after beating adventure mode. And when it goes to a certain height, cheat codes actually become available to use. Survival mode. Survival mode is very similar to adventure mode, except that you can choose different seed packets to defend against zombies every 1 or 2 flags. After each wave, you're allowed to swap your chosen seed packets. Co-op mode is essentially identical to survival mode on hard difficulty, except with the addition of your buddy that's right next to you to help you fight. And speaking of your buddy, there's versus mode. Versus mode is a PvP mode where one player controls plants and the other controls zombies. The second player collects brains and uses them to grow zombies to unleash attacks onto the defending plants. There is quick play, which is predetermined loadouts or custom modes where you can decide what plants or zombies are available in the game. You keep fighting until one team reigns supreme. Everything so far has been a collection of various once exclusive modes to specific platforms in the past, all compiled into this one definitive game, but a few new modes have been added for the replanted version. Bonus levels, not to be confused with regular side levels, minigames, or just bonus levels. It's bonus levels. These 10 bonus levels are secret cancelled minigames from the PC version of the original game, which was discovered amongst hidden amounts of data. It originally contained 20 minigames with 4 variations of Survival Endless that were planned for the original game, but were cancelled. Instead of letting this be lost to time, the devs hid these unfinished games in a limbo page, hidden far away into the codes of the game for players to find using hacking programs. All of them were discovered by fans and fully playable in this version. However, now, 10 of these modes have been officially released and replanted, 16 years after they was originally created. The ones now playable are Art Challenge Walnut. You have to make the shape of a circle using only walnuts whilst defending against zombies. Art Challenge Sunflower, which is the same concept except you make the shape of a sunflower using a starfruit, walnut and an umbrella leaf. Unsodded. There's only 3 lanes that can be planted on, but zombies will still come in those other lanes. It's actually easy because you have plenty of time to prepare before those zombies enter those lanes. Big time. The sunflower, walnut and marigold are bigger than normal, but also following that, the rate of sun production and the rate of money production. Sunny days. The biggest change here from the normal level is that the sun that drops is much larger and gives more sunlight. Air Raid. This level is mostly composed of balloon zombies all over the level, which makes it difficult. However, it takes a while for zombies to appear, making it slightly easier to prepare. High Gravity. The gravity is so high in this minigame that projectiles fired by any shooting plants will immediately hit the ground. The projectiles that are fired by lobber plants will only be able to hit a zombie at close range. Grave Danger. A nighttime level, except graves can appear at any random time. Can you dig it? The lawn is full of walnuts. The only plants on the conveyor belt are pea shooters. To win, you have to dig up all the walnuts and replace them with pea shooters to stop the invading zombies. Dark Stormy Night. This minigame is like level 410 of adventure mode, where it's a stormy night and you can only see when lightning flashes. The only differences from this minigame and level 410 are the plants and zombies are entirely mixed up. That's it for the bonus levels. Now, Cloudy Day. In this second new game mode added and replanted, clouds will occasionally appear in the level and all sun-producing plants will sleep during that duration. Plant prices are also halved during this duration. Occasionally during the sunny durations of the game mode, tiny suns can spawn alongside regular ones. There's 12 of these levels in total. Rest in Peace mode. I'm going to finish this long replanted segment with my favourite mode in the game, Rest in Peace mode, which is basically a hardcore version of adventure mode. If a zombie ever reaches the house, your playthrough ends, and if any lawnmowers are activated, they disappear forever. It really keeps you on edge and focused, especially because completing this run is required for the Platinum Trophy on PS5. Secret Chinese level. Actually, I lied. I'm ending this segment of a video with another secret hidden level. A level from the Chinese version of Plants vs Zombies is included in Replanted. When you head to the trophy section, if you scroll far down underground, you will eventually reach the other side of the world. You've reached China. You can play a level set on the Great Wall of China defending its structure from the Chinese-themed zombies. Now, the series' legacy. When Plants vs Zombies became an iconic staple of video games, its legacy held such a high bar that it wasn't easy to withhold. Plants vs Zombies was never supposed to reach the highs it did. I think under the right circumstances, it could have grown into an incredible series. But since EA bought out PopCap in 2012, they changed everything the company stood for and thrived for. PopCap was never the same since, replacing almost everybody in the company, and over a few occasions, they hired temporary freelance developers and artists to save money instead of paying full wages, and they cut corners where possible. But through this development mess, it did have a few diamonds in the rough. The mainline game has 2 sequels sequels since, Plants vs Zombies 2 back in 2013, which in my opinion was a pretty decent game. It was fun and had unique levels that upped the ante. To be honest, it did feel like a true sequel, called Plants, and it has its own identity. It feels original compared to the first game, but still close enough to resemble what matters to most fans. However, Plants vs Zombies 3 had a really rough time making its mark. Alpha tests began in 2019, it was secretly soft launched back in 2020, and had newer versions added in 2021. As of the current date of this video, Plants vs Zombies 3 had a new version release only temporarily between October 7th and October 11th, with a seedling build that allows you to merge plants together. It's actually a really great concept, but I don't see why a mobile game with fairly simple development is taking 6 years to make, with no actual release date set in stone. One spin-off that I'm thankful it didn't get much more attention for was Plants vs Zombies Heroes, a digital card game that did an awful job making appealing gameplay, with little to no actual help in the game or teaching players what to do. It does have a small dedicated fan base keeping the game alive, but most would agree the game's idea is good, but it's just not made with players in mind. Fortunately, I can say the spin-off series does have better light. 2014 saw the release of Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare, which changes the entire idea of what Plants vs Zombies could be. It became a multiplayer third-person shooter where you can play as either plants or zombies. The original tower defense appeal is still present in Garden Warfare through side missions and other modes, but the overall direction of the series changed vastly in 2014, and most would agree that these were very good changes. I do like the grittier look of this game, and the story mode has more depth than any Plants vs Zombies game that came before. In 2016, Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2 has gone down as the best Plants vs Zombies game to date. It's universally loved by all, and it's still extremely active service to this day, almost 10 years later. There's so much incredible story mode content, customization, class variations, fun game modes, online PvP multiplayer action, and the entire game's story can be played in co-op. I revisited this title earlier this year to get the Platinum Trophy, and I was reminded by how much sheer quality and content is available for such a cheap price. I would love to one day make a video on just this game alone, but there's so many great videos doing this game justice, I probably won't. Please play this game, you can get it so cheap for like £3 on sale. Garden Warfare 1 and 2 blew up in sheer popularity, and I know some people my age who were introduced to this series without even knowing what the original game was and still don't. They thought Garden Warfare was the original game. It revived the series in a refreshing way that may have been a risky experiment, but it paid off so well. Everybody wanted Garden Warfare 3, myself included, but instead next in 2019, we was given Plants vs Zombies Battle for Neighborville. It launched by absolute surprise back then, and unlike popular opinion, I really enjoyed this game for what it offered. The gameplay was smooth and fun, but it did lack the depth and the classes that Garden Warfare had, which was its most appealing feature. Battle for Neighborville servers are still alive, but the lobbies are mostly filled with bots. Its story mode had pretty locations and cool boss fights, but my most positive attribute to this game is simply just how smooth the gameplay is. Even without fans hoping this would be Garden Warfare 3, it just didn't reach its full potential. It is still fun though. And now that takes us to, well, now, with Plants vs Zombies Replanted, the long-awaited remake that goes back to the original roots of the series. But thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, you might like one of these other videos on the screen. I still love Plants vs Zombies to bits, but I cannot ignore the series' rough history and glaring issues. The series could have been handled a lot better if EA and PopCap listened to fans and tried to make a quality game, but unfortunately, like a lot of beloved series, it's eventually used by bigger corporations to make some quick money and lose what made it so special in the first place.